You thought he left because he didn't love you? Because he was weak, immoral, irresponsible? Because something was wrong with you? Too loud or too much, a burden, or maybe just an inconvenience. But the truth is darker. You were never fatherless. Society just needed your father gone. Section 1. The Lie of Fatherlessness. They said he wasn't necessary, that fathers were replaceable, that women could do it alone, that a mother and a government check from the state were enough to make you whole. They called him toxic, outdated, oppressive, patriarchal. They told the sons, you don't need him, you'll be fine, better than him, because you're still here. And without knowing it, they shamed the boys for carrying his blood. But deep in your bones, you knew something sacred was missing. A shape, a presence, a weight, a compass in the dark, a pillar meant to hold the heavens above you. To erase the father is to exile the son from order itself. And daughters, they weren't just left unprotected, they were left unfathered. No mirror of how a man should cherish them, no boundary to contain their beauty, no voice to whisper, you are more than your body. They were handed freedom, but they were never formed. Given power, but not purpose. To kill the father is to collapse that pillar, and when the temple falls, freedom becomes chaos, and no walls remain to cradle the sacred within her. Because the father is more than a man. He is the law before the law. He is the fire that teaches discipline. He is the voice that tells a daughter she is worthy, before the world lays a price on her purity and sells her worth back to her in pieces. The hand that pulls a boy from chaos into purpose, into order, into fire refined by love. He is the first taste of God a child is meant to know. But when the father dies, the son becomes hollow where honor once stood, and the daughter becomes adrift where virtue was meant to take root, and the world forgets the shape of the sacred it once called man and woman. Section 2. The system that erased him. He was the first taste of God a child was meant to know. So, how did they erase him from the family? Well, they didn't kill the father in one stroke. They cut him apart, piece by piece, until he was unrecognizable. They made him a paycheck, a weekend visitor, and a sitcom joke. Then they said he wasn't necessary. In the courtroom, he was labeled a threat. In the media, he was a clown. And at the dinner table, he was missing. Law made him dangerous, culture made him laughable, and absence made him forgettable. Divorce laws didn't just remove him, they rewarded abandonment and punished presence. He was stripped of his authority, but not his responsibility. Forced to subsidize his own exile, to pay monthly for a family he was forbidden to lead, then shamed by the very system that shattered his home. Then, the final cruelty, he was told to be grateful. Grateful for the courts that stripped his name from the mouths of his own children. Grateful for the state that shattered his family, then labeled his children fatherless as if he was never there. Grateful for a system that crushed his spirit, then told him healing was his burden to bear. He wasn't just erased, he was humiliated and told to smile while it all happened. He was made to crawl and then thank the boots that broke him. The welfare state didn't help the poor. It replaced the father with a check, and it called it compassion. He became unnecessary by design. Custody battles turned him into a stranger in his child's life, and they called it progress, even as fatherhood turned into paperwork. They told mothers it was empowerment, but they handed them broken homes and broken boys. They told them that they didn't need men, then left them to carry the wreckage alone. They culturally deconstructed the father. In school textbooks, he faded. In TV shows, he fumbled. In feminist dogma, he was declared an oppressor. Authority is abuse, they said. Discipline is toxic. Provision is patriarchy. So the father became a threat to be managed and not a model to be honored. And young boys? They were raised without mirrors, raised by cultural systems that mocked the very men they were meant to become. No rites of passage, no masculine fire, just classrooms and cartoons, medication and moral confusion, hereditary shame and ritual humiliation. They erased him by mocking him. They replaced him with corrupt systems and then called the emptiness liberation. This wasn't just cultural decay, it was conquest. Because to kill the father is to enslave the family, to unmake the very structure of society, to raise sons who obey the state and not the soul, and daughters who seek affirmation from algorithms and not honor. Without the father, the child belongs to the system, and the system does not love them. It uses them. It trains them. It conditions them. It consumes them. But this wasn't just legal. It wasn't just political. It was spiritual. A creed was written beneath the policies. A new gospel: woman is God, man is guilty. The child belongs to the state. That is how they domesticated the son and desecrated the daughter. But not all hope is lost. There's rebellion and remembering. The world forgot what a father is, but you didn't. And in that memory, buried under shame and silence, is the blueprint of rebellion. You do not need permission to become a man, only the courage to remember what they tried to erase. And when you remember, you lay the first stone, not to rebuild what was, but to create what should have been.